During this era, a surge in agriculture happened due to new farming techniques and technology. For example, chopper rice became prominent in China during the Tang Dynasty due to its fast harvesting seasons. And in Mesoamerica, the Aztecs were allowed to grow food on water due to the chopper field system, which allowed for the growth of beans and other vegetables. In the Andean region, the water system was innovated in order to aid them in crop production in areas high above sea level. Meanwhile, in Afro-Eurasia, the use of draft animals allowed for a more efficient way to plow the land. On the other hand, farmers in Europe devised a system called three-field rotation in order to be more efficient and produce crops at a fast pace. One farming technique found all the way from Peru to the Philippines was terracing and was used to increase surface area and therefore increase the amount of arable land. Another technique was used globally to increase the amount of arable land was swamp draining, which also reduced the number of diseases spread by mosquitoes. Luxury goods from China, Persia, and India were desired in Afro-Eurasia. Artists and merchants from China, Persia, and India were able to expand the development of textiles and porcelain to be exported throughout the Silk Road, and due to these expansions, industrial production of steel and iron magnified in China. A few factors that contributed to urban revitalization can include a way to have a safe way of transportation, the rise of the climate, which in effect, and the increase in the yield of crops. The warmer climate also aided in rising the populations and supplying the people with more availability to certain workforces. One example is China with the invention of the chopper rice, draft animals, terracing, and increased need for luxury goods from China. On the contrary, there are factors that aided with the decline of urbanized areas. Some of the factors include invasions from neighbors, diseases especially like the Black Death, and a general recession of agricultural potency. An example is in China as well, where North China fell due to an invasion by An Lushan. Many social structures had many changes due to religion, conversion, or diffusion in family. They include free peasant labor, which is a labor system that low-class and peasant farmers would sell their goods in the local market in order to reduce the cost of having their crops in a large-scale network. Nomadic pastoralism, defined as people who herded livestock while moving place to place in order to allow the animals to have enough grass to feed. Guild organizations. These people usually formed groups or guilds in order to protect their craftsmanship. Coerced labor, a type of labor that usually forced people to work. Government labor, it is a tax that was paid to the ruling class of the king and instead could be paid with labor. Craft production, when people would mass produce certain goods without the help of any tools. And military obligation, it is a military organization that had people at a certain age enter the military in efforts to have a strong military. It was believed that if someone was young and drafted into the military, the army would be indestructible. Patriarchy continued, but women in West Africa, Japan, Southeast Asia, and in the Mongols experienced more power. Example of areas that experienced equality were in certain Muslim states, where divorce was available for both genders, and in Christian and Buddhist beliefs, where women were allowed to have monastic beliefs. Diffusion of religion like Christianity, Islam, and Neo-Confucianism caused changes in gender roles and class structures, good and bad. Different types of coerced labor became popular, such as serfdom in Europe and Japan, and the meter system, which was prominent in the Inca Empire. To implement these types of labor, taxes were raised. This angered many peasants, and many low-class citizens began to revolt, especially in the Byzantine Empire and China.
Created using Powtoon.